My pranams to all Atmajyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Vivek Chudamani. Vivek Chudamani, as I told you, Viveka means discrimination. Discrimination is the ability of the intellect to take a decision. What is right, what is wrong, what do I like, what I don't like. Choice between multiple things. That's a discrimination. All of us have a good discrimination about things in life. What dress I should wear, which school should I go, what should I choose, what mobile should I choose. Discrimination is there. But there's a higher order discrimination where we have to understand who am I. That discrimination has to be developed. That development happens through study of Vedanta in a systematic way, the teaching of Vedanta in a systematic way. For that discrimination, higher discrimination to develop, the intellect has to become subtle, sukshma. All of us are good in applying our discrimination in life. But discrimination about life, who am I? It requires very sharp, subtle intellect. For that matter, any discrimination in life comes through a lot of study and experience. For example, I go to a doctor. The doctor has to prescribe a medicine, this medicine or that medicine. He has to use his discrimination. This is right for you, this is wrong, this is not right for you. But that discrimination has come to him after many years of study of MBBS. It's not that overnight he has got it. Right? Same thing is true for any other field. Even for cooking, how much salt I have to put? How much mirchi? What is that? Pepper. Okay, I have to put. That discrimination you develop over a period of experience. Similarly, Atmadnana or self-knowledge also can be developed through study, contemplation, and meditation on the teachings of scriptures. So that discrimination is called Viveka, a sharp intellect. It's like any other study of another subject. It takes time to develop that intellect, sharpened intellect. Okay. It's not that some people are gifted. Maybe they are gifted because they have did that discrimination earlier, last life. But it is something which can be developed through study of scriptures. That's called Viveka. Viveka is very important for us in our life for Atmadnana or self-knowledge. Chudamani means a jewel. Women wear a chudamani on the head, they wear a jewel. The crown on the crown. So the discrimination is discrimination of the self and non-self. Atma, Anatma is compared to Chudamani, something which you have to wear on top of the head. Already something is there inside the head. Okay, inside the head is a lot of knowledge is there. But on top of the knowledge, some discrimination has to be developed. That's why Chudamani is on the top of the head. And a diamond is a jewel. Diamond can cut anything, very sharp tool. So that's why Sri Shankaracharya's text called Viveka Chudamani is considered as a sharp tool, like a diamond which can cut ignorance, Adnana. Let us start the study of Viveka Chudamani. First, let us offer our respects to Guru Parampara. Narayana Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Offering our respects to Guru Parampara and Sri Shankaracharya, let us start the contemplation of Viveka Chudamani. Remember what we have covered so far in Viveka Chudamani. Vivek Chudamani is a Prakarana Gantha, when you say Prakarana Gantha, it summarizes the teachings of Vedas and Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, Shruti and Smriti, in a simplified way for us to understand. The Prakarana Gantha covers many aspects which are there in Shruti and Smriti, Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, Bandha, Moksha. Okay. So some of these aspects, bondage and liberation, these are covered. So that's why Vivek Chudamani starts with the question of a disciple to the master. What is bondage? What is liberation? How do you get out of bondage? What is Atma? What is Anatma? How to develop this discrimination? Some of these questions are asked by disciples. These 6 important spiritual questions are asked. Sri Shankaracharya starts giving the answer for 6 important questions. He tells what is bondage. Bondage is to consider non-self as the self. Body, mind, and intellect is non-self. 5 koshas are non-self. To develop the discrimination, who is the real self, what is real self, is the way to freedom. How do you develop that? By understanding, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivanananane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. This discrimination should be developed. That's why Sri Shankara uses Atma, Anatma, Viveka. This Shankara tells who is Ishvara, how Jiva is Ishvara. Tattvamasi Vakya, he has given a clear understanding. Then he has started giving the state of a Jivan Mukta, how Jivan Mukta is there. This nature of Jivan Mukta is not for you to not to reckon, oh, this person is Jivan Mukta, this person is not Jivan Mukta. No. We cannot recognize any Jivan Mukta from outside. It is for us to recognize, am I a Jivan Mukta? Okay. You cannot get a Jivan Mukta that doesn't have a qualification degree like MBBS, MD or Master MA. He doesn't have a degree. He can be a simple man. You cannot judge a Jivan Mukta from outside. But you can judge a Jivan Mukta. Am I a Jivan Mukta? Have I reached Jivan Mukta? For that, understanding is given. This is for ourselves. Let us take the study of next shloka. What is the difference between an ignorant person and Jivan Mukta or Mahatma? The Atma is same for both. The self is for ignorant person and Mahatma is same. Atma. The ignorant person does not know Atma is Paramatma. Jivatma is one with the Paramatma. He doesn't know. So Gnani is one who has recognized Atma is Paramatma. How he has recognized? By understanding I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness. So the ego of a Gnani is called purified ego. He also has ego, but it's purified. Okay. A purified ego is called no mind. Gnani is able to operate well in the world. No mind doesn't mean a state of a blankness or state of an idiot. No mind means a purified mind. Purified mind which has become one with the Atma. That's called no mind. So Gnani also has a mind, but that mind has a clarity and inner peace. An ignorant person, the mind is driven by ego. I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. This ego drives the life of an ignorant person. So the ignorant person is full of tension and stress. The mind is full of worries, noise. Because his mind is always in the past or future. So Gnani or wise person, he lives in the present moment. Last time I told how Gnani lives in the present moment. Last class was about living in the present moment. So this class, we have to understand another characteristic of Gnani. Samatvam, the balanced state of mind. So let us understand next characteristic of Gnani. Gunadosha Vishishte Asmin Subhavena Vilakshane Sarvatra Samadarshitvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. Jivan Mukta has a Samadarshitva. Everywhere he sees one reality. Samadarshita means to see one reality everywhere. One reality everywhere when he sees, for him, the acceptable and non-acceptable aspects of life, the variety of things are there in life, multiple distinct objects in the world, acceptable and non-acceptable. There are some things acceptable to us, something non-acceptable to us. For both of them, he can have he can develop equanimity, he can live with the equanimity. That's the meaning of the shloka. Let us contemplate on the meaning of this shloka. In the world, there are a variety of people, right? The world is nothing but a variety. So many types of people are there. How many types of people are there? Guna dosha vishishte. There are variety of people. People with sattva guna, the quality of sattva, whom we call as people who are peaceful, who are silent, who are meditative type, sattva guna, or who are more involved in bhajans and satsangs. They get enjoyment through satsangs and bhajan. That's called sattva guna. Then people who are there very rajasic, very active, hyperactive. Then there are people who are tamasic, lazy, right? So these type of people, their behavior is different in the world. Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Okay. They are different, right? Rajo guna is very hyperactive. Tamo guna is very lazy. Rajo guna and tamo guna, sometimes they cause harm to themselves and sometimes to others also. Sattva guna possibly doesn't harm anybody else. Correct? So when there are variety of people are there are no two people are alike. If a mother has two children, the two children are different. Variety is the nature of the world. There no two fingerprints are alike. No two human beings are alike. So much of variety is there. But what is there? What they have is a mixture of qualities. Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, mixture is happening. Different ratios. Depending on that, their behavior is very different. Correct? So, example of Sattva-guna is Vibhishana. He is born in Asura family, demonic family, but he constantly thinks of God, Rama. And he advises his brother, please don't do this. This is Anyaya, this is Adharma. Ravana is an example of Rajoguna, very hyperactive. To the extent he has so much ambition. For that ambition, he is ready to do Adharma, violate Dharma. Kumbhakarna is an example of Tamoguna, laziness. He sleeps for 6 months, eats for 6 months. So, which category do we fit in? Right? The people in the world are a mixture of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana. But there's one more category, which is beyond these three gunas. This is called Gnani, Mahatma, a Mukta. Okay. They are very rare, very difficult to find. Then there is Avatar Purusha, incarnation like Rama or Krishna. They are also very rare. A Mukta or a Gnani or a Sadguru is very rare. But otherwise, most of the time we encounter only these three types of people. Correct? When we talk to a person with Tamoguna, we get hurt. Such a lazy fellow is not doing any work. And when you meet a Rajoguna person, hyperactive person, they are trying to do something. Every moment they are trying to do something. So you get irritated. Every moment they'll make a phone call. Every moment they'll make something. Agitation or restlessness. Do we get agitated by these three types of people? Sattva-guna person probably is meditative. Whatever you talk, silent. Okay. So that fellow also looks like a lazy fellow to you, many people. But he is peaceful. A Tamoguna person is restless, he is disturbed, but he is lazy. A Sattva-guna person is also silent, appears to be lazy, but he is peaceful. Correct? A Gnani or Jivan Mukta has gone beyond these three gunas. Yes, he has gone beyond Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Satoguna. Right? These gunas disturb people. Gunas disturb themselves and gunas disturb others also. A person goes to the forest. Then three thieves attack him. Okay. The first thief, they rob him everything, money, everything. The first thief tries to kill him. The second thief says, don't kill him, let us tie him into the tie him to a tree, rope. The third thief comes. This fellow is not eating food for the last 3 days. He gives you a little food. Okay, now you go. Remove the rope and go. This is your city, this way. So there are three thieves. Okay. Shows the way to city. Then this person says, please come with me. Come to you are a good person. Please come to me. Thief says, no, I can't come. I am a thief. People will catch me. These three thieves represent Tamoguna, Rajoguna, and Satoguna. The first thief is trying to kill you. Second thief is trying to beat you. The third thief is trying to free you, but still he is a thief. Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, all the three are thieves. They rob our intellect. How does Sattoguna rob our intellect? Sattoguna keeps you engaged in activities which are pleasant. Oh, this is very nice satsanga. Oh, this is very nice spiritual experience. So you have to go beyond the spiritual experience to realize yourself. You have to go beyond Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. That's why third thief doesn't come to the city. Now there is a situation here. You have these three gunas, and people who interact with you are three gunas. Right? How many combinations are there now? 9 combinations. And mixture of this. Huh? So much. Someone is little bit Sattoguna, more Rajoguna. Little bit Tamoguna, more Rajoguna. So the combinations are infinite variety. We get agitated by these interactions in the world, depending on which guna you have. If you have Rajoguna, you'll get agitated by somebody. If you have Tamoguna, okay, you will cause hurt to somebody. If you have Sattoguna, maybe you will be able to help somebody. Depending on your nature, you interact with the world. Correct? But how does a Gnani interact with the world? So Gnani is Samadarshinaha. He sees everywhere the one reality. The one reality called Brahman, he sees in all. He knows that through all of this body-mind complex individuals, only God is operating, Ishvara is operating. So he sees the Ishvara. That's where he is not agitated. He also can get hurt by a person's Rajoguna. Okay. But he doesn't take anything personally because he knows that this is the instrument of Ishvara. Ishvara himself is operating. Why he is hurting me? Because of my prarabdha karma. Because of my karma which I have done, this hurt is coming to this person. He is just an instrument. My karma is coming back to me. So that's why he will not get agitated. My karma, whatever prarabdha karma I am getting today, is nothing but what I did earlier. So I have written my own address, home address, and that message is being delivered. This person who is hurting me is just a messenger. You know, the postal system in India is the largest in the world. It is the largest postal system in the world. Okay. Any address you write will be delivered to you anywhere. In other countries, the postal system is not delivering to you. They're going to put it in a post box. You have to remove from the post box. Indian postal system is so efficient that if you change your address and write change address, it will find you. Similarly, karma is the message which we send to ourselves. Bhagavan, Ishvara, runs the largest postal system in the world. Wherever you are, that karma will be delivered to you. Whichever life you take, 1 life, 2 life, time life, whichever address you change, 1 lifetime, next lifetime, it will be delivered to you. The person who delivers is the postman. A letter may have bad message or good message, but why should you get angry with the postman? That's the attitude of Gnani. That's why Gnani is equanimous. when he interacts with a variety of people. He is not disturbed. He is equanimous. Samasthiti. Anything happening in life. Somebody comes and hurts him, he is peaceful. Somebody comes and blames him, he is peaceful. Somebody comes and praises him, his peace is not disturbed, because he knows that these three people are operating through their Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Satoguna. And they don't have choice. Understand? Each person or each animal behaves according to its guna. They don't have choice. A person Tamoguna doesn't have a choice. A person Rajoguna doesn't have a choice. A person Satoguna doesn't have a choice. Only they become choice. They become free. They can change their this thing when they have moved into Satoguna, Gunatita, Gnani. Nobody has a choice over their guna. They're called dharma, swadharma, nature. For example, will you get angry when this dog barks? You know, it's the nature of dog. A tiger starts eating a deer. You will not say tiger is cruel. It's its nature. Similarly, each person in the world has its own nature. Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, a mixture of these. Do you get agitated when you meet people? Do you get restless and disturbed by people? That's because you don't recognize, you think that the person is acting. It's the gunas which are acting. The Ishvara is manifesting through all of them. Oh, then how can we Ishvara can be angry? How can the Ishvara be lazy? Ishvara is not lazy or angry. Bhagavan is like light shining in the universe. That light falls on different objects. If it falls on the mirror, it will shine beautifully. If it falls on the river, less. If it falls on the stone, less. The mirror is nothing but a gnani whose mind has become silent and peaceful. The light of Bhagavan manifests through him more. Stone is like a ignorant person, tamoguna. The light only is shining there, but its reflection is less. Sun doesn't act. Sun only reflects on the surface. That way, Ishvara only reflects to various body mind complexes. Bhagavan. So there's no point in getting agitated or angry with somebody, because that instrument is behaving like that. Body mind complex. That's why a Gnani is Trigunatita. He has gone beyond three gunas, Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. He is able to recognize the guna in other persons. Then he says, okay, guna is acting. Somebody comes and hurts him. He understands. Sri Krishna was the Dharmaraja conducts a yadna called Rajasuya Yaga, where kings from many countries participate. There are most of 1,000 kings participate from various countries. So they have to honor one king. Now the problem for Dharmaraja is, if you honor one king, other king will get angry. They'll come and beat him, or they'll try to fight with him. So Dharmaraja chooses a non-controversial person, Sri Krishna. Everybody knows the greatness of Sri Krishna. Nobody objects. Otherwise, if they choose one king, other king will be objecting. Sri Krishna is honored in the Sabha of 1,000 kings. Who is Sri Krishna? Is nothing but an ordinary cowherd. An ordinary cowherd is honored in the kingdom. Okay. Does Sri Krishna feel elated? Oh, I am getting honored? No, he is peaceful. Then in that Sabha, one king called Shishupala gets angry. He keeps on abusing Krishna. Does Krishna get depressed? No, he is equanimous. So for a Gnani, praise and abuse do not affect him. Okay. He has Trigunatita. He has gone beyond three gunas: Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. He knows he is peaceful because he is established in truth. I am Brahman. He is like an ocean. The ocean does not rise if there is a heavy rain. The ocean does not fall if there's no rain. Ocean is full. Somebody who has become full, pulled down. For him, how does it matter some praise or abuse? The praise and abuse? Abuse does not subtract something from his life. Praise doesn't increase in his life. He's Samadarshinaha. He sees one reality everywhere. One reality is Brahman. Somebody who is abusing him is also his own self. Somebody who is praising him is also own self. That reminds me of a shloka in Bhagavad Gita 5.18. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Shapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Bhagavad Gita 5.18. Pandita means Gnani. Okay, he Samadarshinaha means he sees oneness in all. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, somebody who's wise man, a Pandita, a scholar, a greatly honored scholar, right? Very well educated, very knowledgeable person. Brahmane, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane, Gavi Hastini, a dog, an elephant. Shunichai or Swapakecha, somebody who eats dog's meat. Eating dog's meat is considered as an act of violence, because dog is a friend of the human being. So if you are eating a dog, it's like killing your own friend. Somebody kills and eats the own friend. So some Pandita Samadarshinaha, he sees oneness in all of them. What that oneness? Oneness is Ishvara. Ishvara is operating through all of them. Bhagavan is operating through all of them. So he sees oneness in all. Does he treat them alike? He sees in the shoes, chappal also Brahman. Okay, right? In a Brahman also, in a well-educated person also is Brahman. Now he will really take the chappal and keep it in the chair and make the Brahmana sit in some place. His treatment will be with discrimination. It's not that Brahmane Gavyastini, Brahmane, a Brahmana and a dog, he doesn't treat alike. His treatment is different, but seeing is oneness. He has a discrimination. It's not that he is indiscriminate. He does the right treatment to each person. But in his heart, there's only love and peace. There's no agitation. The vision of a Gnani is told by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He says, a Gnani sees God in all. Okay, he sees the cow god and does namaskara, and he sees the tiger god and does namaskar from a distance. He doesn't go and do namaskar to the feet of the tiger, then his head will be eaten. He sees God, but treatment is different. Don't think that Gnani is indiscriminate. Gnani used the discrimination properly. He used the discrimination to function dharmic way. Sri Krishna is a Paramatma, Gnani. He treats Duryodhana how it is required. He treats Arjuna how it is required. Gnani has a sharp discrimination treatment properly, but he has no love, no agitation inside. He is peaceful. So that's about the people. The world is full of objects, different kinds of objects, right? People and objects is the world. The nature of objects and experience in the world is dvandva, duality, dualism. There's always a pair of opposites in the world. Correct? Darkness is there, light is there. Fire is there, cold is there. The contrast or opposite is nature. Is there anything in nature where there's no opposite contrast? There's a good person, there's an evil person. Okay. There's a beautiful, there's an ugly. Everything in nature has a dual nature. Can you tell me one thing which has only good nature? Is it there? Possibly? Only good. There's no such thing. The nature always has a contrast. Otherwise, that object doesn't exist. Rama is so famous because the opposite of Rama, Ravana is there, represents evil. If Ravana was not there, probably Rama was not been so famous. The nature is full of contrasts. What is called Dvandva. Correct? The dualism is called, I call it dualism. Please understand, there's a duality and dualism. There's different thing. Dvandva is called dualism. Duality is when you identify with something. Okay. As long as there's Dvandva in the world, it does not affect you. A painting is there. A painting has a murderer, but that doesn't affect you. Because you see the contrast is there. But the moment you say, you take one part, say start participating in the painting, participating in the movie, then you like something and you don't like something. Correct? You become a part of the movie. If you are just witnessing, there's no problem. If you become involved in that, you are a problem. So Dvandva is nature of the world. But when you get involved with the Dvandva, then you become duality, Dvaita. Then you say, I am this and this is separate. Then you like, oh, I like this, I don't like this. Dvandva and Dvaita, you have to understand the difference. Dvandva is the nature of the world. World is like a painting, good and bad, happiness and unhappiness. Okay, light and darkness, fire, heat and cold, they are all Dvandva, duality. But then you take a position in the world, you become part of that. Then you have taken duality, Dvaita. Dvandva doesn't affect you, Dvaita affects you, duality affects you. How? There's a movie going on, a beautiful movie. The hero and heroine, okay, they are on the verge of getting married. The heroine drops the hero and goes away. The hero's heart is broken, or heroine's heart is broken, either way. Then you start crying because you are identified with either hero or heroine. You have become one of the characters in the movie. There is no movie where hero and heroine, romance and part separation is there. There's no movie. If this just romance is there, no movie. Some separation has to be there. That's Dvandva, a plot. But the moment you associate the hero or associate the heroine, then you are getting hurt. You are associating the character in the movie. So similarly, in the world, there is a Dvandva, dualism. But when you associate the character called body, mind, intellect, then you have brought in duality. The body, mind, intellect is also part of the movie. Which movie? The movie which appeared in the morning. In deep sleep, there's no body, mind, intellect for you. Experience of that. The moment you wake up, the body, mind, intellect comes and the world appears. Entire thing is a part of the movie. But you take part of the movie and say, this is me. Then you start developing like and dislike. This movie, what you show in the morning, disappears in the night, dream state. Dream state, another movie starts. There also you identify a character and says, I like this, I don't like this. In deep sleep, the movie is stopped, interval is there. A Gnani has realized that I'm not a part of this movie. I'm there in all these three movies. The waking state movie, dream state movie, deep sleep state movie. I'm the one who is common to all. This is called witness or sakshi. He has become Dvandva-tita. He's gone beyond duality. If you are in Dvandva, you're disturbed. If you have become Dvandva-tita, realize that I'm not the body, mind, and intellect. I'm pure consciousness. Then you have Dvandva-tita. You have to realize, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivanam Nani, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Only if you get out of Dvandva, that can happen only when you realize that you are not the body, mind, intellect. Body, mind, and intellect is a part of the movie which appeared in the morning. The body, mind, and intellect is a part of the movie which appeared in the dream. You have to understand that I am the witness, Sakshi, spectator. Then only you'll be free. Okay. Are there any objects in the world which are always good? Is there something? Because We want always objects which give us happiness. We want to select something which gives us happiness. We don't want to let go. Is there something like that in the world? Any object, any relationship is like that? Is it there? Just give me an example what you like to have all the time. Because anything in life, object, has a time limitation. Even if it's too good, even if it's very good, still it has a time limit. Everything comes with the expiry date. Like you bring the milk from the market, expiry date is there. A medicine from the market, medicine is too good, but medicine is the expiry date. Everything in the world has got an expiry date. Is there any no expiry date for anything? Everything in the world has an expiry date. Okay, I want to have it. I want to have it. I want to have more of it, but still has an expiry date. Right? And once the expiry date comes, the good things will become, I lose the good thing. Then I'll start crying. Oh, I lost it. So good things gives me happiness. When I lose it, I get happiness. That means happiness and unhappiness is already there. It's a part of the package deal. Happiness and unhappiness come together. No, this gives happiness. I want all the time. Is it possible? The happiness and unhappiness are two sides of the same coin. Where happiness comes, unhappiness comes. Is it possible to separate two sides of the coin? The good and bad, happiness and unhappiness, they are a package deal, two sides of a coin. You cannot separate them out. You want to know, you see one side of the coin. I like this, I like this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. How long you can hold? For example, money. Money gives me happiness. Happiness. I want more money. I want more money. How long you can hold? Money may not expire. You will expire. Everything has an expiry date. You may have a lot of property, money. The property, oh, where is property? Property will be there only, but you will not be there. There's an expiry date for everything. This relationship, I want to have a good relationship all the time. Possible? The relationship also becomes so. Everything has an expiry date. The problem is not that everything has an expiry date. The problem is we don't accept that there's an expiry date. I want a product which doesn't have an expiry date. Is it such a possible? Forget about God's this thing. Is it possible something in the market? Anything you buy has an expiry date. The God has also made every product as an expiry date. The problem is not expiry date. The problem is I don't want to accept expiry date. I want everything to be lasting long. That's what hurts you. Whether it's relationship or objects or money or power or position, I want to last long. Somebody is in a position of power. When the power is removed from him, he gets very hurt. The power is not permanent. Whether it's a minister, chief minister, or any minister, anything, power. People want to cling on to the power because they want to, it's good, it gives them feeling of goodness, but it won't last long. It will be removed from them. Or this person has to leave. Something has to expire, either a person or a position. This is not acceptable to people. People get hurt. But Gnani doesn't get hurt. Why? He knows everything is expiry date. Correct? If you know everything is expiry date, why will he get hurt? Oh, does it mean that he will not enjoy some good things in life? Gnani will enjoy good things in life more than you. Gnani is called Mahabhogi. You know, it's called Mahabhogi. Any good thing in life he will enjoy more than other persons. He is called Mahabhogi, very enjoyer, great enjoyer. Why? Because for Gnani and Adnani, there is a difference. Adnani, when he enjoys things, he's worried. How long this enjoyment will last? This will, I'll lose it. Deep inside, he knows fear of losing it. That's some object or money or people. He says, I may lose it. The fear is mixed with the enjoyment. right? A relationship, for example. Oh, this is a good relationship. Nani will enjoy a good relationship. But Adnani has a fear. When this relationship will go? Right? When you are enjoying, enjoyment is mixed with the fear, because the fear of losing. Nani is fearless. As long as this relationship, enjoy it. If it goes, goes. Accept it. So, Nani has no fear. When it's there, he'll enjoy. When it's not there, he'll accept it. Whereas Adnani, when it's there, he will enjoy it, but with the fear that he'll lose it. And when he loses it, he doesn't accept it. So his enjoyment or losing, both is mixed with the misery. So Gnani, when he is there, enjoys it. And when he loses it, he is peaceful. Both ways he is peaceful. Gnani doesn't mean that, oh, this is a good thing, I don't want to accept it because Dvandva. No. That's what Sri Krishna is. A dance is there, he'll dance. A music is there, he'll dance. Then when Gopikas were there, he played with them. Okay? Right? Any situation, just accept it. But doesn't mean that when Gopika, or when the dance is going on, oh no, I am detached. I'll be away. No, he'll enjoy dance also. But he doesn't cling on to that. Hold on to that. That's why Gnani is called Mahabhogi, a great enjoyer. That's why Ishavasya Upanishad says, Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam Etkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tyena Tiktena Punjitaha Magradha Kasisiddhanam. So Isha Vasyam, entire universe is pervaded by Ishvara, Bhagavan. Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. Tyena Tiktena Punjitaha. Drop the attachment and enjoy now. No, everything is temporary. Then enjoy. If it is not there, who cares? Whereas Adnani cares for that. If it's not there, he'll first question. If something gets, oh, how long it will last? When it will go? He'll start asking. He is worried. His mind is full of stress. So Adnani says, it is there. It is there. When it's not there, it's not there. He enjoys when it's there and accepts when it's not there. Enjoy. Renounce and enjoy. That's the meaning of that. Tyaga doesn't mean, oh, I don't want it. This is a good thing. I don't want it. No. Tyaga is a good thing. Is that accept it? Right? Okay. So there is a relationship. Come to a relationship in case of Gnani. There is a relationship. And he knows the relationship, non-relationship is long-lasting. A relationship will be long-lasting, but I don't last. My body also will not last. So everything is temporary, right? I can't have anything in permanent life. So if relationship is there, he is happy and good. If relationship is not there, he'll accept it. There are some people in life, you are happy when they come in your life. There are some people in life, we are happy when they go in your life. Are there such people? Coming into your life makes you happy. Some people going in your life makes you happy. For Gnani, both are equal. Same. Coming into life, he says, accept it. Oh, no, a bad person comes into life. Some people go suffering comes to his life. He'll accept it. It's my prarabdha karma. And the person goes, oh, my good karma has come. Prarabdha karma. For him, the event and situations do not make any difference. Right? So Sloka says, there's a variety, a plurality, multiplicity is there. The multiplicity is law of nature. Two trees are not alike. Two people are not alike. Each person is dependent on the quality, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. You heard of this word called masterpiece? You know what is masterpiece? A painter's picture, only one painting he can do, right? It's a creative work. No, he can't repeat it also. Even if he repeats it, it doesn't come like that. It's only one piece is available, masterpiece. An artist can create masterpiece. Whereas the engineers are copycats. They'll make one thing, they'll copy. One mobile phone, millions of mobile phones. So who is God? God is an engineer or doctor? Engineer or an artist? God is an artist. Every creation that God is a masterpiece. He's an artist. Okay. No two people are alike. No two objects are alike. masterpiece. When you see a masterpiece of a painter, you'll go and, oh, wonderful. And people actually pay a lot of money for a painter, one masterpiece, right? Original piece, they always pay money, crores, lakhs, millions of dollars they'll pay because it's a masterpiece. Universe is full of masterpiece of Bhagavan, Ishvara. Everything, every single thing, every individual. Why don't you enjoy it? Why do you see why don't you see the masterpiece of the creator, the master? But your problem comes, you want to possess the masterpiece. Nothing is possible. Everything belongs to Ishvara. It doesn't belong to you. He will give some time and take it back. That's why Gnani is Sarvatta Samadarshinaha. The multiplicity and variety is of the nature that we see in the parliament, right? In our elections. Every candidate has his own opinion. Every party has its own opinion. Opponent party also opinion. In parliament, they have to pass one law, one rule. So much of opposition from people, from this, it's like a crowd. Everybody has an opinion, right? Variety is nature. But you should not say variety is not there. It should not be there. That's what nature is. That's what masterpiece is like that. Everything is unique. If you start appreciating the uniqueness, I am masterpiece in the universe. And then you start appreciating the master, Bhagavan, Ishvara. So are you appreciating the master or you want to possess the masterpiece? That makes a difference. Don't get attached to the peace from the master. Then you lose your peace, P-A-C-E, peace. So Gnani is not affected by any change in the relationship. Why? If you are affected by change in relationship because you lose something. But if you have some permanent relationship, then you don't lose anything. Correct? Do you have any permanent relationship in life? There's only permanent relationship is there. Atma, Ishvara, Bhagavan. Tvameva Mata, Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha, Saka Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya, Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Deva, Mama Deva Deva. So Gnani has one permanent relationship with God, Ishvara, myself. You cannot remove myself. Self cannot be removed. And that self is Ishvara. So that relationship is permanent. Father, mother, husband, wife, Guru, Bandhu, Mitra. Then every other relationship is temporary. But I have one permanent relationship with God, Ishvara, my own self, Atma. So because he's holding on to that one permanent relationship, Gnani is not disturbed by any relationship in the world. So Gnani has realized my Atma, myself is Ishvara. That relationship gives him total peace. Any other disturbance in the world doesn't affect him in that sense. There are difference in the objects of the world, and difference and variety is nature. Bheda. Your question is, you have a Bheda Drishti or a Abheda Drishti? Are you seeing the difference or are you seeing the oneness? If you're seeing oneness, peace. If you're seeing Bheda, disturbance. So Gnani says Abheda in the Bheda. That means non-difference in the difference. Everything in the world is an object. Sun, moon, plants, flowers, mountain. What is common to all of them is isness, existence. So Gnani is eyes on the existence. Adnan is eyes on the form. Existence doesn't change, form changes. If you are attached to form, you'll get hurt. If you are attached to the formless existence, there's peace. So see Abheda in Veda. That's Gnana. Changeless in the change. If you are holding on to changeless in change, you are peaceful. Ishvara in everything, you are peaceful. So a Gnani or Mahatma, he is rooted in the changeless. Atma, Brahman, existence. So that's why there's a saying, I will catch hold of the feet of the master. Okay. So the master's feet is rooted in the changeless. Feet means his position. So when you say he stands on ideology, he stands on his principle, that means he is not physically standing. His stand is coming from that ideology. So Gnani's stand is coming from changeless. And when you hold the feet of the master, what it means is the hold his stand, which is changeless, Atma. This is called, oh, that doesn't mean something has happened to his eyes. Right. So something has happened to his eyes. He sees things in a very different way. He doesn't see things in a different way. His understanding is different. He understands things differently. His Gnana Drishti has changed, not sense organs, not Charma Chakshu. The vision has changed. The one whose vision has changed is called Gnani. He has got a developed a very clarity, inner clarity. That's why he is rooted in the changeless Atma, Brahman. That's called Gnana Drishti. We will close our session today with this talk. Here today we are discussing Samadarshitva, sees oneness. Now don't think that seeing oneness means he is dealing oneness is very different. Krishna sees Kaurava, he deals differently. Krishna sees Dharmaraja, he deals differently. But he sees that one reality everywhere. It's like another example I can give you. A scientist sees the reality of water. Water is nothing but hydrogen and oxygen, H2O. Everywhere hydrogen and oxygen molecule is there. Doesn't mean a scientist should go and drink gutter water. Doesn't mean Gnani doesn't drink poisonous water. He wants to drink a clean water. Yes, Samadrishti, everything is hydrogen and oxygen. But his discrimination is not gone. He has not become mad. Oh, wow, everywhere hydrogen and oxygen, let me drink gutter water. He will not do that. Similarly, Gnani has Samadarshitva. He sees Brahman, Ishwar everywhere. But his discrimination has not gone. How to treat, how to deal in the world, he deals properly. Understand? But whenever he deals with something, his mind is peaceful. There's no agitation. Raga, Dvesha doesn't arise in him. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamuduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Nanembudu Nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla Sachidanandatma Shivananani Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness, Shivaswarupi. Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam. To know the self is to know God. To know God is to be God. To be God is to know the truth. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyak Jyotihi, Parakpara, Jyotireva Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atma Jyotihi, Shivosmiham, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukino Bhavantu, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukino Bhavantu, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukino Bhavantu. I am the light of the self, awareness, Atma Jyoti. I am the light illuminating the world, the mental world. I am the light of all lights, Paranjyoti, light of peace, light of love, light of happiness, light of wisdom. Lokaha samastaha sukino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om. Anybody any questions here? Any questions?